Thank you, everyone, for coming and supporting us. We're very grateful. We're so ready for you. We're so ready to have an audience. So we're thrilled. I want to thank Mary Jo Robertson for helping to put all the visuals together, for Laura for running the show and putting the visuals together with Mary Jo, to Catherine Campbell, who is actually running our classes, and for Bob Lipson for the music, and to Emeritus College. We're very grateful to Emeritus College because we are just so happy to be able to do this. So enjoy yourselves, and thank you again for coming all.
Our first conversation is The Morning Show by Adam Milch and stars Audrey Greenberg and Nancy Lesh. In the cutthroat world of morning TV, UBA's network anchor, Mitch Kessler, was fired several weeks ago due to multiple allegations of sexual misconduct. Mitch was replaced by a reporter from another network, the ambitious, assertive whistleblower Brenda Jackson, who has managed to snag an interview with former UBA network employee Ashley Brown. Ashley left the network because of her uncomfortable experiences with Mitch Kessler.
So by this point, you were working in the audio department.
Yeah, so I was the person who mic'd everyone. It's a quick but intimate job. So, of course, I was around Mitch all the time. He liked to tease me whenever I would slide the mic down his shirt, flirty stuff. And I guess I thought he was fun, and I liked the attention from the start of the show. If I'm honest, I flirted back, but I never intended for it to take the turn that it did.
And when did that happen?
I'm sorry. This is just...
It's okay, Ashley. Take your time.
It was 10 years ago in 2009. There was this big production meeting and everyone was there. And I wound up sitting next to Mitch, which he made sure of. So he sat down next to me and we were all in this meeting, and then I felt a hand on my thigh under the table. It was him. And then I felt him squeeze my thigh in a way that felt loaded, sexual.
What was going through your head when that happened?
If I'm honest with myself, it was exciting, very exciting, but also shocking, overwhelming, confusing.
How did you react in the moment?
Didn't. I should have, but it all happened so fast and it was so public. I didn't have time to think. So I did nothing. And that opened a door, and that flirty thing that we had increased a lot. It became consuming.
Consuming. Describe what you mean.
I couldn't focus on my job. All I could think about was what sexual innuendo Mitch would throw my way, and I knew what he wanted. There was a question in my head of, should I give it to him?
Or what would happen if you didn't?
Yeah, that crossed my mind, but I never did, but I was still so scared. I felt like my entire career was in the hands of this one person. I was very confused. I didn't know how I felt about anything, and eventually it just became too much. So I quit.
Did you ever open up to anyone, tell anyone what you were going through?
No, I didn't.
Did you report to HR?
About Mitch? No.
Why didn't you?
I guess I was embarrassed, and I didn't want Mitch to know that I was complaining.
So you felt this would get back to Mitch?
Well, no, I guess
It's okay, Ashley. It's okay. I know it's uncomfortable for you being back here at the studio with all the people you used to work with. But I guess what I'm asking is, was there something about the culture at this network or the show that made you feel it was impossible to complain?
No, I didn't say anything because I didn't want anyone to know.
Know what? You say that people noticed that Mitch was flirting with you. You say he did it publicly.
I'm not talking about flirting. I'm talking about what happened.
Ashley, I'm here and you're safe. I don't want you to say anything that'll make you feel uncomfortable, but the truth matters. Sometimes we must tell the truth in order to use it as a weapon against those powerful men who want to shut us up. And your truth, Ashley, your truth is so important. So very important.
Mitch and I did cross the line. A few times in his dressing room, he would call me in, we would start kissing. He never forced me ever, but I guess I still just didn't know how not to go through with it. And I never told anyone. But everybody knew. I could feel it. I could feel these people that I respected looking at me different, losing respect for me.
This must have been very hard on you.
It was. I felt as if I was watching myself from the outside, and I saw myself the way everyone else did. This slut sleeping with Mitch to get ahead in her career, and I didn't know who that person was. I didn't recognize myself. And he did that to me. He branded me. He stole my confidence, my self-worth, and then I was drowning, and there was no one to throw me a lifeline. No one. I was alone, surrounded by people, but
Isolated. Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you for telling us your truth. You are an incredibly brave woman. We'll be right back.
Our next piece is For What It's Worth, written by and starring Laurie Keough and Catherine Campbell. Annie has just heard from her granddaughter Sarah, who tells her she has become pregnant and wants her help getting an abortion in California, where Annie lives, because she cannot get one legally in Texas. Annie, tormented by all the issues this raises for her, reaches out to her best friend Lindsay.
Hey, so what's up?
Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. I just got a call from my granddaughter, Sarah, in Texas. You know, I told you she was coming here to look at colleges. Well, she's still coming, but guess what? She is pregnant and wants to get an abortion while she's here. Now, I know you and I think very differently about the whole abortion thing, but I couldn't think who else to call. I mean, I trust you. I know you're not going to gossip to our friends about this, but I am so conflicted. She doesn't plan to tell her parents. And I'm not sure I can do this and help her and have this on my conscience.
I'm really glad you trust me, and I would never gossip about you or Sarah. But I can't believe you're even contemplating not helping her. This is so not like you. Sarah, your granddaughter, hasn't she been more like a daughter to you?
Mhm. Yes, but you don't get this, Lindsay. This is the kind of thing that could destroy my family. You know, I've told you, my son and daughter-in-law are leaders in their Catholic community, and they all think of abortion as murder.
Well, hon, it sounds like this is more about you than your granddaughter. Look, I know we disagree about this. Way back before Roe, when I got pregnant, we discussed abortion, and you did try to talk me out of it. I respected that, but what I really appreciated was that you never told anyone about my pregnancy or the abortion. Think about it, Annie. You reached out to me because you trusted me not to betray your confidence. And isn't that what Sarah did? She confided in you because she completely trusts you.
Well, you're wrong. This is not about me. This is way bigger than this. This is all about these throwaway babies that nobody cares anything about. And what about these states that are now making it more difficult to get abortions? Doesn't that mean something?
No, it doesn't. What could it possibly mean other than some states want to control women? More than half the population of the United States believes in the rights of a woman to choose what to do with her own body. But that doesn't mean anything to your anti-abortion crowd.
Well, your crowd would like women to be able to get an abortion at 24 weeks. That's 6 months. That's a living baby. So what do they do with it? Just set it aside when it's born and let it die?
Annie, 24 weeks for an abortion, it's very rare. And it still wouldn't happen unless the woman or the pregnancy were in danger.
Do you know that you can sometimes hear a heartbeat at 5 to 6 weeks?
Christ, Annie, a fetus doesn't even look like a baby. It's just a lump of cells with bug eyes until about the 3rd month.
You liberals, you never cease to amaze me. I mean, you would be out marching, right? To keep a confessed serial killer from being executed, but you don't care about the destruction of a little innocent baby. I mean, it's so easy to just flush our mistakes away. We live in a society of victims where no one wants to take responsibility for their actions. And where in the Constitution does it say that the woman has a right to an abortion?
Fetus doesn't have rights. Where in the Constitution does it say a fetus has rights? A confessed killer is alive in the moment. You can't deny that. How can you accuse people with the same beliefs as I have of hypocrisy and still not care about those who are alive right now?
What do you mean by that? Are you trying to say that I'm not a Christian, that I don't care about people, that I don't know about the inequities of this world? Do you even understand my faith?
Annie, you're being sanctimonious again. So what you're trying to tell me is that you believe that a state government should be able to take away Sarah's rights because of your religious convictions? Now, I know there's something in the Constitution about that.
You feminists, it's only about women's rights. It's always that. I mean, look at all the things we all have to do that are mandated by the state. I mean, we all agree that murder is against the law, right? So what rights does the unborn baby have, in your opinion?
What about Sarah's rights? Don't you care about Sarah? Should she have to turn her life upside down, making all these decisions without any support? Should she have the baby? Should she give it up? What about school, her ambitions? Does that all have to stop because she got pregnant? Annie, as you said, is a victim of her biology, of a life starting inside of her, but not alive yet. And that boy, he'll probably get off scot-free.
Well, I happen to think that it's a woman's job to take care of things, to make sure that she doesn't get pregnant.
What is this, 1950? Are you so stuck in the past that you can't see how this will affect Sarah? How she'll always have to grapple with what happened to her, how it happened, why it happened, what she could have or should have done differently.
Yes, I am thinking about Sarah, and I'm worried about how she's going to feel if she aborts this child. I mean, look at you. You've got two wonderful boys that you're crazy about. What would your life be like without Harry and Stephen?
If I hadn't had them, how could I miss what never was? I don't even know who you are anymore. We used to be able to talk about this stuff. In spite of your beliefs, you were reasonable.
It's a lot easier to be reasonable when it doesn't affect you personally.
Sarah's decision isn't anybody's business. It's not yours. It's certainly not mine. And it's not her parents'. It's between her and whoever helps her when she decides to go through with this.
But you see, it's now become my decision too, because I'm involved and I don't know what to tell her. Doesn't this baby deserve to be born? Yes, Sarah would have to put her life on hold for a while, but at least she'd be taking some accountability for her actions.
Accountability? Really? Has Sarah committed a sin in your eyes? Come on, Annie, kids make mistakes. They're impulsive, passionate. They think they're invincible. And you don't even know the whole story. Tell me something. Were you a virgin when you married Robert? Was he your first? If not, this could have happened to you. Who are you to judge?
That has nothing to do with any of this. I know how Sarah was raised. I know what her parents believe in. I just don't want my granddaughter to wind up being a baby killer.
Excuse me? And there it is.
Oh, Lindsay, I am so sorry. This is very emotional for me, but I should not have used those words. I am really, really sorry. But you know, you could have made some childless couple very happy.
All these years, and this is what you think of me? You're so concerned with Sarah being a baby killer, so that makes me a baby killer. I can't believe this. After my abortion, you sat there and listened to what happened to me, feigning sympathy and all the while judging me.
No, But you did have a choice. Did you even think of giving up the baby?
I didn't want to be pregnant. I didn't want to live with a child that I had conceived being raised by strangers. Which of your kids would you have given up for adoption, Luke or Daisy?
So you got rid of it, and your life went on with no repercussions.
How can you not see what stupid, dangerous things a young girl will do when there are no other options? This baby you keep talking about, it's nothing but a few cells, a small amount of tissue forming inside of her body with no thoughts or feelings.
You know that? Nobody knows what an unborn child feels.
But you do know how Sarah feels, and she's not ready. She shouldn't be forced to carry to term if that's not what she wants. Sarah will get an abortion whether you or her parents approve, and she'll be alone and afraid. Is that what you want for her?
I want what's best for Sarah and the baby.
It doesn't sound like that to me. Look, if it bothers you this much, I'll help her. Give me her info. I'll get in touch with her. These days, it only takes a couple of pills to have an abortion, but she shouldn't be alone. So she can stay with me. I'll do that for Sarah.
No, bad idea. That could be really bad. With the Texas rules they have now, Sarah could be arrested for having an abortion, and you could be arrested maybe for helping her.
As far as a Texas official is concerned, Sarah went to California to visit her grandmother and look at colleges. and honestly, what Californian official would allow me to be arrested? What do you want to do?
I just know that I can't help Sarah to get an abortion and keep it from my son and daughter-in-law.
If Sarah is forced to give birth and then gives up her child, she will be faced with the trauma of seeing her infant, holding it, and then handing it off to somebody else. She'll probably think of that child for the rest of her life.
I need to get Sarah to confide in her parents. But whatever she decides, I love her and I want to help her. But if she won't tell her parents, I will.
And then what?
Next is The Package, written by Gary Michael Kruger and stars Olga Varga and Bob Lipson. We are at the Port of Los Angeles Customs Office, where Peter has come to retrieve a package sent by his uncle in Russia.
Oh, may I help you?
God, I hope so. You know, this place is so huge. I've been wandering around for an hour. Am I in the right station?
That depends. Are you supposed to be here?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Do you have a bill of lading?
A what?
A bill of lading.
I have no idea. I was sent this stuff. Is this a bill of lading?
No.
Okay, what is it?
Well, it's a request for a clarification.
Okay, what needs to be clarified?
Yes,
What?
you are in the right place for this.
Okay, wait a minute. What are you doing there with that package?
It's the contents of a package addressed to you from a Boris Borisov of what was the former Soviet Union.
Wait, are you saying that you opened my package?
We're the government, we can do that.
But it's a federal offense to tamper with the U.S. mail.
Well, first it started out as Russian mail before it became U.S. mail. U.S. mail and U.S. government both starts with U.S., which is us.
No, it stands for the United States. Come on.
Which is who we are. We're the government. We do what we want.
I see. So why did you open the package for my uncle?
Ah, so you do acknowledge kinship with this Boris Borisov.
Acknowledge kinship? Who talks like that?
We're the government. We do.
Okay, yes. Boris Borisov is my relative. Okay,
So he's your uncle.
he's my uncle. Yes, well, I guess if he's my father's brother, well, that's what you'd call him. Don't tell me. You have no sense of humor. You're the government.
Exactly right.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a long day.
Well, now you don't explain yourself sufficiently.
What are you talking about? What's to explain? I got a package from a relative in Russia.
You received a package from a communist relative.
Wait a minute. A communist package? Unless you've had your head buried in the sand or somewhere else. You know what? The Cold War is over. There are no more communists there.
Well, that's what they would like you to think.
Really? Well, it's the truth. It was in all the papers.
We know. You read what we want you to read. It's our job to look after you.
Okay. So then how come there's no national health plan?
Because that would take free enterprise away from the insurance companies and all other businesses. If free enterprise goes, well, so does a democratic way of life. And if that happens, do you know what we get?
What? Communism?
Didn't take two guesses, did it, comrade?
Okay, look, never mind. Can I just have my package, please?
Not until you explain some of these items this communist sent you.
My uncle is not a communist. He's a baker. Besides, he sent me things before.
But never anything like this. Care to explain?
What? It's an old Russian flag.
And what do you plan to do with it?
Make a placemat? I don't know. No, I'm going to hold on to it. You know what? It's a collector's item.
What kind of sicko would collect this?
Oh, I don't know. Historians, college, museums, real subversives.
Then what about this?
That's an ordinary doll. It's probably meant for my granddaughter.
Well, it looks ordinary. So did the box of Jell-O until they found some microfilm hidden in it.
Well, wait a minute. If you're referring to the atom bomb spies, the microfilm was in a fake hollow coin. Two halves of a Jell-O box were used as a signal.
Know your spy history well, don't you?
Okay. I've received things from my uncle before, and I've never had to go through this. I want to see something authorizing you to torture me.
No, wait, we're the government.
Wait. Don't you even start to talk about that. If you're truly the government, you thrive on paper, right? It's probably right there on your desk in triplicate. Give me it. Just give me it. Thank you. Oh my God. You know what? Clarification notice. It says that it's a box. It's not checked. There's a note here. It says, this is not a clarification at all. It says, I must pay $25 duty of these items and that it will be collected here by a trainee customs agent.
Oh, I wouldn't believe everything you read.
Yeah, right, Ms. Trainee. What are you trying to do to me?
You're a communist sympathizer, and I seem to be the only one around here who realizes that. I may just be a trainee, but I can spot a communist a mile away. Well, so they'll all find out that I'm right. And when they do, I'll be a hero.
Look, I'd love to stay here and debate with you, but I'm due black on the earth now. And so here's what I'm going to do.
No, wait.
Wait, what are you talking about? Because don't talk, don't do anything. I'm going to take my box of harmless toys and I'm going to leave. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to take these toys and I'm going to leave. You understand?
Why would you do that?
Well, first of all, I not only am I going to take this package, but you are going to pay the duty, the $25 duty. How about that?
Well, why would I do that?
Well, because if you don't, I'm going to sue your red, white, and blue behind and the U.S. Customs Service and anyone else who might have a hand in hiring a deranged McCarthy throwback who doesn't even realize it's 1951.
Oh, you can't do that.
Correction. I am a U.S. citizen. I can sue anybody I want. So I'm just taking this box and leaving. Das Vajana, das Vajana, das Vajana.
In Dead Right by Elaine Jarvik, Catherine McNamara and Chuck Martinez star as Penny and Bill. This longtime married couple are enjoying a typical morning with their newspaper and coffee.
Hey, isn't this that woman?
What woman?
The one from your writing group, from before COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Francine Louise Schmidt.
Yeah, what about her?
She died.
What? Let me see that. It is Francine. Francine Louise Schmidt died peacefully at home, surrounded by her family. Oh, I didn't even know she was sick. Wow. That is so tragic.
Was it cancer?
No, her obituary is so dull.
That's no way to talk about the dead.
I'm talking about the living. I mean, how could they do that? She's got no chance to do a rewrite. Oh, and this photo?
That's what I remember her looking like.
This photo was taken in direct sunlight in the middle of the day. I mean, look at her wrinkles. 100,000 people are going to see this obituary and think, Francine Louise Schmidt, that's what she looked like.
She did look like that. It's a photograph. Anyway, the people that know her will think, that's not Francine at her best. And the people that don't know her won't care.
You know, she once wrote a short story in which every sentence started with a different letter in alphabetical order. I mean, do you know how hard that is? And now she's frozen in time as a woman with bad skin and a dull life. She doesn't want to be remembered that way.
You know she's dead, right?
Francie loved reading and hiking and was a deacon in her church. Please.
What's wrong with that?
Well, everybody loves reading. That's like saying Francie loves sitting. At least they could have mentioned that she once had a correspondence with Deepak Chopra.
Correspondence?
She wrote him a letter and he wrote back.
That's not a correspondence.
But my point is there were things about Francine that were a lot more interesting and complex than what they've written here. Oh no, I didn't even see this before. Francine had less faults than anyone we knew.
It's okay to exaggerate a little.
Less faults? They put a grammatical error in her obituary? I mean, promise me when you write my obituary, you're not going to put any grammatical or syntactical errors.
Oh, I can't promise that.
Well, have my sister proofread it.
Jeez, Penny.
What will you say about me?
Oh, I'm sure I'll die before you.
Yeah, what if you don't?
Oh, I plan to die before you.
Well, don't say Penny loved reading. Say Penny loves social commentary and the works of Thomas Pynchon. Say Penny played the cello.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
You haven't touched the cello since we've been married. It's been gathering dust in the basement for what, 15 years?
Played the cello. And where did I graduate from college?
Purdue.
And
What do you mean?
my master's.
Right.
You would have forgotten to include my master's.
That was before I knew you. You were married to James then.
Well, how could you forget to include my master's? This is exactly what I was afraid of. How could you do that? James would have remembered to include my master's.
Well, then have James write your obituary.
Oh, well, maybe I will.
Fine. I'll make a list. Cello. Thomas Pynchon. Masters. Anything else?
You're not taking me seriously.
I made a list.
You're writing it on the newspaper. It's going to turn yellow and disintegrate.
So will your obituary.
And if I die in some kind of weird way, don't put that in the obituary. Just say, died unexpectedly.
Oh, do we have to talk about this? Anyway, I'm sure I'll die before you. I've got cardiovascular disease in every branch of my family tree.
Oh, don't say that. I'm serious. Remember that picture you took of me in Hawaii last year? I want that picture for my obituary.
What if you die when you're 90?
I still want that picture. I could be 30 in that picture.
And it really won't look like you.
Well, that's how I want to be remembered.
Even if it doesn't look like you?
Look, I don't want the kids and their kids and their kids to remember me wrong.
They will have the family photo albums.
You know, I have 2 pictures of my grandmother. In one, I don't even know if she remembered to comb her hair. And in the other, I think she forgot to put in her dentures. I mean, I have no idea why those 2 pictures survived. Why those 2 pictures and not 2 others?
Tell you what, when you start wearing dentures, I'll quit taking pictures.
No, you know what? I'm going to go through the house and get rid of all the pictures that I don't like because I can see that you can't be trusted.
Fine. Here, let's make a file. We'll call it Penny's obituary. You can put in a glam shot, your resume. You know what I'm going to write for your obituary? Penny was a shallow woman who wanted you to think she was prettier and smarter than she really was.
Bill?
Really, Penny, I can't believe you.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm going to write? Bill was a man who never really knew his wife.
You know what I hope you'll say? Bill was a decent guy.
That's it?
Oh, and he made a great grilled cheese sandwich.
But what about your PhD?
I don't care.
You're the president of the State Chemical Society.
So, it's just a society. Who says an obituary needs to be a list? Why not a moment? A moment in your life when you're riding your bike, the sun's shining, and the world smells like jasmine. Just put Bill was a decent guy.
You are a decent guy. And that's why I love you.
And I love you because you can make me laugh, even when I've had a rotten day. That's how I'll remember you.
But I'm talking about how everybody else will remember me, how the world will remember me. I want to be dead right.
The world won't remember you, Penny. And that's okay.
I got my master's at Boston University.
I thought it was Northwestern.
Just checking.
Next, it's A Doll's House by Henrik Ibsen and stars Carol Carson and Mark Schwartz. Several years ago, Nora forged the signature of her recently deceased father in order to borrow a large sum of money so that her husband Torvald, a bank manager, could recuperate from a serious illness. When Nora is caught and blackmailed by Niels Krogstad, a disgruntled bank employee, Torvald, terrified he will lose his honor and standing in the community, tells her she is a disgrace and not fit to raise their children. When Krogstad changes his mind about reporting the fraud, Torvald is ready to forget his betrayal in order to resume the facade of their happy marriage. Nora, however, is not.
Doesn't anything strike you as strange in our sitting here like this?
What would that be?
We've been married now for 8 years. Do you realize this is the first time we've had a serious conversation?
Well, why would I keep talking to you about my worries? There's nothing you could do to help. What do you mean serious?
In all these 8 years. No, no longer than that. From the moment we first met, we have never exchanged a word on any serious subject.
But my dear Nora, what good would that have done you?
I'm not talking about business. What I'm saying is that we've never really sat down together, to try to get to the bottom of anything.
Again, what good would that have done you?
That's just it. You have never understood me. I have been greatly wrong, Torvald. First by Papa and then by you.
What? By your father and me, the two men who love you more than anyone else in the world.
You've never loved me. You just thought it was pleasant to be in love with me.
Nora, what are you saying?
It's perfectly true, Torvald. When I was at home with Papa, he gave me his opinions on everything. So I had the same opinions as he did. If I disagreed with him, I concealed the fact because he wouldn't have liked it. And when I came to live in your house...
What a way to talk about our marriage.
No, I mean, I was simply handed over from Papa to you. You arranged everything to suit your own tastes. The whole reason for my existence was to perform tricks for you, Torvald. It's your fault. I've made nothing of my life.
How unreasonable and how ungrateful. Nora, haven't you been happy here?
No, I've never been happy. I thought I was, but I haven't been.
Not happy?
No, just cheerful. You've always been so kind to me, but our home has been nothing but a playroom. I have been your doll wife, just as at home. I was Papa's doll child, and in this house, the children have been my dolls. That is what our marriage has been, Torvald.
Well, there's some truth to what you say, though you've exaggerated and made far too much of it. But in the future, things will be different. Playtime is over. It's time for lessons.
Whose lessons? Mine or the children's?
Yours and the children's, Nora, my darling.
I'm sorry, Torvald, but you are not the man to teach me how to be a proper wife to you.
How can you say that?
And how am I fit to bring up the children?
Nora.
Didn't you say yourself a little while ago? You dare not trust me to bring them up.
That was in a moment of anger. Why do you pay any attention to that?
No, you're perfectly right. I'm not fit to bring them up. That is why I'm leaving you.
What did you say?
I must be by myself. If I'm going to understand myself and the world around me, that is why I can't stay here any longer.
Nora. Nora?
I am leaving right away. I'm sure Christine will take me in for the night.
You're out of your mind. I won't allow it. I forbid you.
There's no point in forbidding me anything any longer. I'll take with me only what belongs to me. I will take nothing from you now or later.
What kind of mad behavior is this?
Tomorrow I will go to my old home.
You foolish woman. You can't see what you're doing?
I must try to make some sense of all this, Torvald.
You're deserting your home, your husband, and your children. Think what people will say.
About that at all. All I know is I have no other option.
I'm deeply shocked. Is this how you neglect your most sacred duties?
What do you think are my most sacred duties?
Do I need to tell you? Your duty to your husband and your children.
I have another duty just as sacred.
No, you don't. What other duty could there possibly be?
My duty to myself.
Before everything else, you are a wife and a mother.
I don't believe that anymore. I am a thinking human being, just as you are. I know very well, Torvald, that most people would think you are right, and that your views would be supported in books. But I can no longer be satisfied with what most people say.
like a child. You don't understand the world we live in.
No, no, I don't, but I intend to try. I am
You're not.
going to find out which is right, the world or I.
You are not well, Nora. You must have a fever. I almost think you may be out of your mind.
My mind has never been so clear and determined as tonight.
And with this clear mind of yours, you're determined to abandon your husband and your children.
Yes.
Then there can only be one possible explanation.
What?
You do not love me anymore.
No, that's just it.
Nora, how can you say that?
It's very painful, Torvald. You've always been so kind to me. But I can't help it. I don't love you anymore.
And are you clear and determined about that too?
Yes, that's why I won't stay here any longer.
And can you tell me what I've done to lose your love?
Yes, I can. It was tonight when the miracle didn't happen. It was then that I saw you're not the man I thought you were.
Please explain yourself. I don't understand.
I had waited so patiently for 8 years. I didn't think miracles happen every day. And then this disaster fell upon me. And I was quite sure that the miracle was finally going to happen. When Krogstad's letter was in the mailbox, never did I think that you would accept his conditions. I was absolutely sure that you would say to him, go ahead, publish it. Let the whole world know.
Yes, and what then? After I exposed my wife to shame and disgrace.
Well, after that, I was absolutely sure that you would step forward and assume all blame and say, I'm the guilty one. What you were thinking is, I would have never accepted a sacrifice like that from you. No, of course I wouldn't. But what would my word have been against yours? That was the miracle I was hoping for. That was the miracle I was afraid of. It was to make sure that did not happen, that I was ready to kill myself.
I would slave day and night for you, Nora. I would endure sorrow and poverty for your sake. But no man would sacrifice his honor, even for the ones he loves.
Thousands of women have done that.
You are thinking and talking like a stupid child.
Perhaps. But you don't think or talk like the man I could spend the rest of my life with. You weren't afraid of what was happening to me. You were afraid of what was happening to you. And when it was over, as far as you were concerned, it was like nothing ever happened. Exactly as before. I was your doll. And then it dawned on me that for 8 years, I have been living with a stranger.
Yes, I see. I see a gulf has opened up between us. I see that now, but Nora, couldn't we bridge that gulf?
The woman I am now is no wife for you.
I could change who I am.
Perhaps, if your doll is taken away from you.
But to lose you forever, no, Nora, I can't accept that.
That is why it must happen.
Nora, wait, not now, wait until tomorrow.
I can't spend the night in the house of a stranger.
We could live here like brother and sister.
Oh, you know that wouldn't last. Listen, Torvald, I have heard that when a wife leaves her husband's house, he is legally freed from all obligation towards her. In any case, I am setting you free. There must be perfect freedom on both sides. Here's your ring back. Give me mine.
That too?
That too. I put the keys here. The maids know all about running the house, and tomorrow Christine will come and pack the things I brought with me from home.
Will you never think of me again, Nora? May I write to you?
No, never.
Just let me help you.
No, I can never accept anything from a stranger.
Nora, can I never be anything more than a stranger to you?
Oh, Torvald, the greatest miracle of all would have to happen.
What would that be?
You and I, we would have to change so much that, oh, Torvald, I don't believe in miracles anymore.
But I will. Tell me, change so much that
Our life together would be a real marriage. Goodbye.
Nora, Nora, Nora.
We're halfway through the program and we're going on vacation with Fran Messina and Nancy Lesh, who star in Women in Motion by Donald Margulies. It is the winter of 1992, and Libby and Monica, colleagues in the marketing department at LZA Industries in New York City, are spending their holiday break in the Caribbean, where we find them poolside arguing over Pretty Woman, the in-flight movie they watched together.
But she's a prostitute.
She's not a prostitute. She's a call girl. God, Libby, where's your imagination? Where's your sense of romance?
I don't know what's so romantic about picking up a prostitute that could give you AIDS and letting her live in your hotel room with you.
God, Libby, it's a movie. It's not real life.
I know it's a movie, Monica. Don't take it so personal.
Maybe it's because you saw it on a plane. Next time you come over, I'll play you the sexy scene.
I don't want to see it again.
I can't believe you don't think he's sexy.
He's all right.
All right. He's gorgeous. Don't you think he looks a little like Mike?
Like Mike? Are you kidding?
No?
He looks nothing like Mike.
How can you say that? Mike is gorgeous.
Mike is very good looking. I would not call him gorgeous. Mike is not gorgeous, but you've always had this thing for Mike. I don't get it.
Oh God, when he gets close to me to give me something to type, I feel like my heart is making so much noise he can hear it, and I get embarrassed. I love the way he smells. Aramis he wears.
How do you know?
My brother wears it. What's his story, do you think?
Mike?
Yeah, you don't think he's gay or anything?
Mike? No.
I mean, any man who dresses that good.
Mike is not gay.
You sure?
I'm sure. Believe me, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Nothing?
You said it like you know something.
Monica, must you analyze everything I say and do?
Tell me, how do you know so much about Mike? You've been in the office less than I have.
I don't know. I just know.
Libby.
Okay, he came on to me, okay?
You're kidding me. When?
Before the Christmas party.
Before? Where?
By the Xerox.
You're kidding me. You were in the Xerox room with Mike? What were you doing?
Xeroxing?
And he came in? Just the two of you?
Well, Carmen was there too, collating, but then she left.
So then it was just you and Mike. I'm dying. I can't believe you didn't tell me this.
I did not want to upset you because I know you have this thing about Mike.
You're right. You were smart. It's a good thing. So what happened?
So the Xerox started eating paper.
Yeah, so what'd you do?
We fixed it.
You and Mike.
I pulled out the thing, he pulled out the paper.
And?
Then he asked me what I was doing for vacation.
You did? What did you tell him?
I told him I was going to the Caribbean with you.
Oh God, you told him you were going with me?
Christ, Monica, calm down.
I'm sorry. So what did he say?
He said, that's nice. And then he asked me what I was doing for New Year's.
You're kidding me.
Mm-mm.
Mike asked you what you were doing for New Year's, you mean? Mike hasn't seen anyone? Don't you think if he asked you what you were doing New Year's, that means he was free?
I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to know.
Why would he want to know something like that?
I don't know. Maybe he's just curious. Do you want me to tell you this or not?
Yes, I'm sorry. So anyway, go on. He asked what you were doing for New Year's.
I said we were flying home on the 1st.
Yeah.
And he said, that's too bad because he and Ed McCarthy are throwing a party.
Oh. Ed McCarthy from accounting?
I guess.
How come I didn't know about this party?
I don't know. I didn't either.
Yeah, but he told you. He practically invited you. He practically invited you.
But I couldn't go because I was coming here.
But nobody told me. How come nobody invited me?
Monica, I don't understand you. We're in the Caribbean.
I know. You're right. Hmm. Hmm. Wasn't lunch great?
It was all right.
All right. Didn't you think it was delicious?
It was chicken salad with pineapple in it.
I know. I thought it was delicious. What an interesting combination. I'm going to have to try that. Tropical chicken salad.
It was canned pineapple.
That wasn't canned pineapple.
Yes, it was. It had rings in it like you get from dough.
Libby, that was not canned pineapple. This is the tropics. They grow pineapple here. What do they need to get it from cans for?
Mine had a piece of ring in it, and fresh pineapple doesn't have rings. That much I know.
So what if it was?
All I'm saying is that if they charge you that much, they should at least give you fresh pineapple. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I thought it was very good. I suppose you didn't like dessert either?
Oh, the dessert was good.
Oh, wow. Don't say I'm getting huffy with you because I do not get huffy.
I'm sorry, but you do get happy when I tell you it's canned pineapple. You get all huffy with me.
I do not get huffy.
Okay, whatever you say.
I'm sorry you didn't like the chicken salad.
I said it was all right. I didn't say I didn't like it. It's not like you made it.
I know. We're not having a fight, are we?
Who said we're having a fight?
I'm only asking.
No, this is not a fight.
Good. I didn't think so. I hate fights.
This is not a fight.
Hey, you want to go snorkeling tomorrow?
No, thanks.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Grace Salzone and Sherry McCoy star in Marriage Story by Noah Baumbach. We are in the office of Nora Fanshawe, a divorce attorney. She is consulting with Nicole, a well-known actress married to a successful New York theater director, Charlie. Nicole is considering divorce even though she and her husband love each other. She feels her needs have become subordinated to his, including giving up on-screen roles over the years to be part of his theater company. She now wants to return to Los Angeles for a big television opportunity.
Let me get this out of the way. I think you're a wonderful actress.
Thank you.
I saw Electra. I was in New York last year for my book, and my publisher took me. Ah, fantastic. You are awesome.
Thank you. You know, Charlie directed it.
I know. He's very talented. How are you doing? Oh, honey. Oh, you take some breaths. And while you do, I'm going to tell you about myself. If you should choose to hire me, I'll work tirelessly for you. I'm always available by phone or text, except when I'm with my grandkids. I help my daughter with drop off and pick up at school while she's working.
Oh, I understand.
I've been through this myself, so I know how it feels.
You do?
Yes, I had my daughter with my ex, who was a narcissistic artist and verbally abusive. I'm now with a great partner, and he lives in Malibu.
Oh, good. But you know, Charlie, he's not terrible.
No, of course not. Where do you want to live now, hon?
Well, you know, I'm here now. I mean, obviously, but I don't know if this show is going to be picked up or not. But it feels like home to me. It really does feel like home. In fact, I think it's really the only home I've ever known without Charlie.
You want to stay here?
Yeah, but Charlie won't want to do that. He hates LA.
We're interested in what you want to do. Sounds to me like you did your time in New York. You can do some time here, no?
You know, he always said we would, but we never did.
I want you to listen to me. What you're doing is an act of hope. Do you understand that?
Yes, yeah,
You're saying, I want something better for myself.
I do.
And this right now is the worst time. It'll only get better. Wasn't it Tom Petty who said waiting is the hardest part?
I don't know.
I represented his wife in their divorce. I got half that song for her.
Oh, I don't want money or anything. And he doesn't have any money anyway. He puts it all back into the theater company. And yeah, I used to think he gave away too much, but you know, I really just want this to be over.
Of course you do, but we can do both.
Well, I just worry, you know, I mean, we weren't even going to be using lawyers or anything. And I don't want to be too aggressive. I really am hoping that we can stay friends.
Don't worry, we'll do this as gently as possible. Now, I'm going to play the part of the evaluator and ask you a series of questions.
Okay.
Any history of domestic violence?
Oh, no. You mean coming from me? No, and not from him either.
Have you been to prison?
Well, yeah, actually, yes. Not prison, but jail. And it was deliberate.
Okay.
I was demonstrating as part of a peace rally.
Do you drink alcohol?
Yeah.
How much alcohol do you drink?
I don't know. You know, a glass of wine with dinner, maybe more sometimes.
How much more?
Well, sometimes a few. You know, like I'll split a bottle of wine with someone.
Okay, who do you split it with?
I'm having dinner or something, and someone will order a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Like if you're at a restaurant and you say, should we go by the glass or get a bottle?
And you get the bottle.
Sometimes not. I mean, it really just depends.
Right. What would you say are your strengths as a parent?
Well, I listen, I play, and I put in the time. I mean, I really love taking care of him and watching him grow up.
What are your weaknesses?
Well, I'm too precise and I care too much.
Are those weaknesses?
Well, maybe not. You know what? Sometimes he can be a real asshole and I can get really pissed off at him. And I'm going to call him on being an asshole.
Oh, wait. I'm going to stop you right there. Don't ever say that. People don't accept a mother who drinks too much wine and yells at her child and calls them an asshole. I get it. I do it too. We can accept an imperfect dad. Let's face it, the idea of a good father was only invented like 30 years ago. Before that, fathers were expected to be silent and absent and unreliable and selfish. And we can all say that we want them to be different. But on some level, we accept them. We love them for their fallibilities. But people absolutely don't accept those same failings in others.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
We don't accept it structurally, and we don't accept it spiritually, because the basis of our Judeo-Christian whatever is Mary, mother of Jesus, and she's perfect. She's a virgin who gives birth. She supports her child unwaveringly, and she holds his dead body when he's gone. But the dad isn't there. He didn't even do the fucking because God's in heaven. God is the Father and God didn't show up. So you have to be perfect. And Charlie can be a fuck up and it doesn't matter. You'll always be held to a different higher standard and it's fucked up, but that's the way it is. Now, can you tell me a little bit more about what's going on? Because part of what we're going to do is tell your story.
Well, it's so difficult to articulate, really. I mean, I'm sorry. I know why I'm doing this, and I don't know why I'm doing it too. It's just not as simple as not being in love anymore.
Yeah, I understand. Why don't you start at the beginning when you met Charlie?
Okay. Well, I went to New York to meet a director about a space movie. And while I was there, the producer invited me to a play. And I was introduced to the cast and the director, Charlie. And he didn't really know who I was. And that was it. I mean, he started talking to me and I talked back. And it was better than sex, the talking. We spent that whole night together the next day, and I just never left. And to be honest, all the problems were there at the beginning too, but I just kind of went along with him in his life because it felt so good to feel myself alive.
Isn't it always like that at the start?
Yeah. In the beginning, I was the actress and the star, and so that felt like something. I mean, people came to see me at first.
He was lucky to have you.
But then the further we got away, from that, and the more the theater company got acclaim, and I seemed to have less and less weight, and he was a draw. And that would have been fine, but I just somehow got smaller. I realized that I was never really coming alive for myself. I was just feeding his aliveness. And he was so smart and so creative, it just didn't really seem to matter.
So this pilot came along and it was shot in LA and it paid so much. And, it was like this little lifeline was thrown to me. I felt like this is who I am. This is what I'm worth, and it's mine. And if he had taken me in his arms and said, baby, I'm so excited for your adventure, then we might not be getting divorced. But he was jealous and he made fun of it. But then he realized about the money and he just said, well, you can just funnel it all back into, the theater company. That's when I realized that he truly didn't see me. He didn't see me as someone separate from himself. I asked him for my phone number. He didn't know it. So I left. And I think also that Charlie was sleeping with Marianne, the stage manager.
That fucking asshole.
Camille Guyon and Richard Hirsch are both the stars and writers of Everything But the Truth. He plays Mr. Weasel, an unprincipled lawyer who is interviewing her character, Dr. Bogus, a potential expert witness.
Hello, Dr. Bogus.
Oh, it's Bogoose, Mr. Weasel. It rhymes with goose.
I'd sure like to goose you. Oh, I'm sorry. And my name is Weasel. First part rhymes with squeeze.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to imply that you're sneaky or sly. I guess we both have that in common. Not that we're sly. I mean that everybody's just always mispronouncing our last names.
I know, it's so demeaning. I once had a client call me Mr. Sleazel.
That's dangerous. I hope you sued him for detonation.
You mean defamation?
Thought that's what I said.
I like the way you think. Anyway, I'd like to hire you as an expert witness in a criminal matter.
Oh, you have my attention, Mr. Weasel. Anything you need.
That's the attitude I'm looking for. Now, my client, Mr. Giuliani, is charged with applying for COVID loan benefits he wasn't entitled to receive to the tune of some $3 million.
Okay.
What sort of doctor are you, Miss Bogoose?
Well, what sort do you want?
Well, let's see. Where'd you go to school?
I didn't exactly finish high school. I went to a continuation school.
Which one was that?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It went out of business. It was the one that Trump owned along with his university.
You mean the fake school?
Oh, that's fake news.
Well, I have no problem with that. Now, did you go anywhere else?
Yeah, I attended City College for a couple of years. After that, I tried to transfer to UCLA, but got rejected.
I assume you didn't go to Santa Monica College, which is #1 in transfers to UCLA.
Oh, I wish I knew that, but I did go to the University of El Monte.
Did you receive a degree there?
Yes, I did. A BS.
BS in what?
Just a BS, like the same one that George Santos got.
Well, if it's good enough for George, it's good enough for me. Now, you call yourself a doctor. What sort of doctor are you?
Ever hear of a PhD?
You mean a doctor of philosophy?
No, a phony doctor.
That'll do. Now, my client is alleged to have filled out 500 fictitious loans using fictitious names.
All right, I got this. He was confused. He wasn't trying to weasel out of anything.
Please don't say weasel.
Oh, I apologize. That was insensitive of me. Maybe his having COVID made him delirious.
He never got COVID.
Maybe he had a really bad cold.
That's a possibility.
Or he had a reaction to the vaxes that made him do crazy things.
He never got vaccinated.
Oh, maybe it was a new variant of COVID. Maybe he got it from one of those Chinese balloons.
Well, anything's possible. I like your style.
I like your style too.
Thank you. Now, That could explain his gross misrepresentations of eligibility he's been accused of. But would it also explain his inflating payroll expenses, setting up shell companies, making multiple loan applications, misappropriating loan proceeds for his own personal gain, and laundering the proceeds through offshore bank accounts?
Of course it would. He got caught up in cash cow COVID fever.
Oh my God, I never heard of that variant. Is that when you get mad cow disease and COVID at the same time?
I don't see why not. And I can testify to the fact that it caused such delusions that it led to his having a psychic breakthrough.
You mean a psychotic breakdown?
Yes, that too.
Yes, yes. This could exonerate my client.
Mhm.
In fact, if this case goes well, I have the possibility of getting a lot more of these cases because my client told me that he had all of his relatives fill out the same bogus claims.
Oh, please don't say bogus.
Oh, I didn't mean to be insulting. I'm sorry. I meant phony claims. Oh, I can't say that either because of your degree. What I really mean to say is that if I get more of these cases, I'd like to hire you as an expert witness in all of them. How does that sound?
Oh, that would be great. And we can use the same diagnosis that I just made up for each one of them.
Exactly what I was thinking. That degree of yours from the University of El Monte is really going to pay off.
I know. It really makes a difference when you go to a pretentious school.
You mean a prestigious school?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to working on this case with you.
Great. Would you have any objection if I take you out to dinner to celebrate?
Oh, I'd have no ejections whatsoever.
Our second to last piece, TV Breakdown, was written by Jean-Pierre Martinez and stars Robert Swartz as Randy and Cy Hoffman as Julie. We are in the living room of this long married couple who are sitting on their couch staring at the long broken blank television.
Anything interesting on television tonight?
I don't know why.
Oh, just like that. You really don't want to buy a new one?
When we had a TV, all we did was watch it.
Well, that's what TV's made for, isn't it?
We were totally moronic. We didn't do anything else.
Well, what should we do now?
What would you want us to do?
Nothing.
It's still better than watching TV when there is one channel, of course. But now with the satellite.
Oh, when I was a child, we didn't have any TV. I used to go over to the neighbors to watch.
I'm going to go next door and see if our neighbor will have, you could watch TV with him.
Well, we could talk. Well, since we no longer have TV, we could use the time to talk.
Well, you first.
Do you love me?
Well, Julie, I think that we could do this a little more progressively. What do we have for dinner tonight?
Wednesday, fish.
Fish? It should be Friday.
Friday is chicken.
That's 50, isn't it? What kind of fish do you want?
Oh, I'll go. I need to get custard too. What about cod for a change?
It's salty, isn't it?
Oh, not a la Francaise.
It doesn't involve custard, does it? If you really want to talk, Julie, I would ask you, If you cheated on me, would you tell me?
What? You mean if you cheated on me, would I want you to tell me or not?
Also, yes,
Well, why do you ask?
just making conversation since we don't have a TV anymore.
Well, how do you want me to answer this?
Yes or no?
Do you really think it's that simple?
No.
This is ridiculous. Can we talk about something else?
We could talk about why you think it's ridiculous.
Well, I think it's ridiculous because answering is already accepting the possibility that you could cheat on me.
So,
Well, it's like if you asked me, if I murdered you, would you prefer me to go surrender to the police right after or try to escape from justice? Well, it supposes that I actually do consider the possibility that you could murder me. That's the real question. The rest is irrelevant.
but still, adultery isn't a crime.
It sometimes leads to crime.
So, if I cheated on you, you could kill me?
Well, anyway, if I did, I would most certainly surrender to the police. Justice has always been very lenient toward crimes of passion. So you actually consider the possibility of cheating on me.
Look, 95% of animals are polygamous. The rest form couples only long enough to raise your offspring.
This is stupid. What's that got to do with anything?
Well, it's proof that fidelity is not a natural thing.
Well, God damn it, we're not animals. At least women are not.
And there's still 5% of monogamous among the animals, but it doesn't make humans out of them.
For Christ's sake.
So why would fidelity be a criteria of humanity?
Well, because, you idiot, it's the foundation of the family, which is the foundation of society.
So you wouldn't cheat on me, so to remain a good citizen?
Is it that difficult for you to stay faithful to me? By the way, just last week, when I made that chicken Malay, you didn't come home until nearly 11. Dinner was ruined. Where were you?
Jesus, Julia, I was with my friend Ralph at the San Francisco Saloon. And he answered a question about being faithful. No, I just want a fidelity to have the same thing for men as it does for women.
So, why are men faithful, in your opinion? When they are, of course. Are you faithful to me? Don't answer that question. So, okay, why are men faithful?
To avoid complications?
Complications? Christ, Randy. Do you love me? Oh, I'm going to bed.
Perhaps we should get a new TV.
In our last piece, Anna Turk and Tom Lasky star in The Father from the French play Le Père by Florian Zeller. Anthony, the father, is 88 and living defiantly alone in his apartment in a suburb of New York. He rejects the caretakers that Anne, his daughter, encouragingly introduces. Help, unfortunately, is becoming a necessity for Anne, She can't make daily visits anymore, and her father's grip on reality is unraveling.
There you are. Oh, God.
Well, what brings you here?
What do you think? So, what happened?
Nothing.
Tell me.
I already did. Nothing happened?
Nothing happened? I just had your caretaker on the phone.
So what does that prove?
You can't go on behaving like this, Dad.
It's my flat, isn't it? I mean, it's incredible. You break in on me like this here and well, I don't know who she is, this woman. I never asked her for anything.
She's here to help you.
Help me do what? I don't need her. I don't need anyone.
She told me you called her a little bitch, and I don't know what else.
Well, maybe, could be. I don't remember.
She was in tears.
In tears? Just because I called her
No. She told me you threatened her physically.
Physically? Me? This woman doesn't know anything she's talking about. She's ravingly mad, Anne. It's best that she does leave. Believe me. Especially because,
Why? As what?
well, listen, I didn't want to tell you, but if you must know, I suspect she was stealing from me.
Angela? Of course not. That sweet little thing.
I'm telling you,
What are you talking about?
I'm telling you, she stole my watch.
Your watch?
Yes.
Isn't it more likely you just lost it?
Oh, no. I actually had been suspicious of her, so I set a trap. I left my watch someplace out in the open to see if she'd pinch it.
I don't know what to do. We have to talk, Dad.
That's what we're doing, isn't it?
I mean, really. This is a third caretaker.
No, I told you, I don't need her. I don't need anyone. I can manage very well on my own.
She was in tears.
In tears? Just because I called her a little...
No, she said you threatened her physically.
Physically? Me? Oh, I don't know. This woman doesn't know what she's talking about. She's ravingly mad, Anne, and it's just as well she leaves. Especially as...
As what?
I didn't want to tell you, but I believe that she was stealing from me.
Angela? Of course not. What are you talking about?
I'm telling you, she stole my watch.
Your watch?
Yes.
Isn't it more likely you just lost it?
No. I already had my suspicions, so I set a trap for her. I left it out somewhere in the open to see if she'd pinch it.
Where? Where did you leave it, Dad?
Somewhere. I don't remember. All I know is it's nowhere to be found. That woman stole my watch. I know she did.
Have you looked in your bathroom cupboard?
What?
Your bathroom cupboard behind the boiler where you hide your valuables.
How do you know?
I just know, that's all.
Have you been in my cupboard, Anne? Answer me. Tell the truth.
No.
Well, then, how do you know? That's, well, sometimes with my valuables, oh,
I can't remember. I must have opened it by accident. Dad, where are you going? I didn't touch anything, Dad. Oh. You found it.
what?
Your watch.
Yes, only because I hid it and just in time.
You realize Angela had nothing to do with it?
I'm telling you, I already told you before, she stole my watch. I'm not going to live with a thief. What's the matter?
I don't know what to do. We have to talk, Dad.
That's what we're doing, isn't it?
I mean, really, this is the third caretaker you've...
I told you that I cannot. I don't need anyone. I don't need her. I don't need anyone. I can manage very well on my own.
Have you taken your pill?
Yes, but why are you always looking at me as if there was something wrong? Everything is fine, Anne. The world is turning. Oh, you know, you've always been this way, like your mother, a worrier. Your mother was always scared, always looking for some reason to be scared. But as you're, on the other hand, your sister, well, at least she doesn't keep badgering me. Where is she, by the way? Have you heard from her? I'm asking you a question, Anne.
I'm going to have to move, Dad. I'm going to have to leave the United States.
Really? Oh, why?
We talked about this yesterday in full. Do you remember? Do you remember anything?
So that's the reason why you want this nurse to be living with me. Oh, the rats are leaving the ship.
I won't be here, Dad. I won't be able to see you every day. You have to understand that.
Really? When? I mean, why?
I've met someone.
You?
Yes.
You mean a man?
Yes.
Really?
You needn't sound so surprised. We just talked about it.
No. I just mean that since your last, what was his name?
Oh, God, James.
Yes, you must admit that since James, there hasn't been a whole lot of. What does he do anyway?
He lives in Paris. I'm going to go and live there.
You in Paris? You're not going to do that, are you, Anne? I mean, wake up. They don't even speak English. Do I know him?
Yes, you've met him.
Oh, so if I understand you correctly, you're leaving me. You're abandoning me.
Oh, Dad.
What's going to happen to me?
Oh, you know it's important to me. Or I wouldn't be going. I really love him. I'll come back and visit you often at weekends, but I can't just leave you here all on your own. It's not possible. That's why if you refuse to have a caretaker, I'm going to have to.
You're going to have to do what? To do what?
You have to understand, Dad.
Anne, you're going to have to do what? You're going to have to do what?
What a great job.
You're all unmuted and you all can turn your video on, audience and cast.
Yay.
Thank
Well
you.
done,
Thank you.
well done, bravi, bravi.
So good, guys. I love
Yeah.
Thank you.
And such a nice variety too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Good. Great.
Congratulations. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
guys did a terrific job.
Yeah.
So much for coming.
The master class.
So how do you feel? Everybody, how do you feel?
Exhausted.
Great.
Relieved.
I need a real one of these.
Yes, you do.
I'm sure that could be arranged.
Even with rings, it'll be good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Beverly.
Can we see people in the audience? No.
Yeah, we just have to keep looking.
I'm audience.
We can. I see a Paul Lesh. He has the same last name I do.
I know.
Isn't that
And
interesting?
it's such an unusual name.
It is. Who's named that? Yeah.
Okay.
Again, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Job well done. Bravo.
It was wonderful.
Thank you.
All of them were wonderful.
Terrific.
Bob, this is where we need your piano the most.
Well, I'm not quite near the piano now. Okay.
I know, but I love having the piano at the end and I miss it. So,
Okay, next time.
next time. Thank you all for coming. Hang on as long as you want.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Is that you, Dad, sighing?
I'm here. Yes, I'm still here.
Inside, you sounded pretty familiar, like it was yours.
Happy birthday, Lori.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Hey, Mary Jo.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pretty.
It was great. Fantastic.
Laura, you saved us.
I don't know.
Yeah, you did. You did. You saved us. And I just got an email from Mary Jo saying, send her the video, she'll edit.
Okay, excellent.
Great.
Oh, I better stop recording then.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you
No
so
problem.
much. Mary Jo, there you are.